Back on the breaking news from New York City, the State Attorney General Letitia James will speak, but not, we're told now, until 6 p.m. Eastern Time after Donald Trump was ordered to pay $354.9 million in penalties. This for fraudulently overstating his net worth to get some better deals with the banks. Attorney Misty Marris has been with us, and she's back here, and I'm sure Ms. James will have look at this as a victory, right?
Oh, absolutely. She's going to look at this as a huge victory. It's basically the full ask of what the Attorney General was looking to do from the monetary standpoint. It's also placing significant limitations on Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump on businesses moving forward. And to the point we spoke about before, it's also putting controls in place with respect to their businesses, so there will be significant oversight when for the Trump organization in general. So big victory for the AG.
In civil court, it comes the same week, and it almost gets lost with all the headlines that we've had, that there was quite a headline. If you just think about it, if you step back and say, one of the headlines this week came that in New York State, a former president of the United States will be face criminal charges in court for the first time. That trial will start. So that's kind of the next step, at least here in New York. We have a date there, which is different than this.
Right, that's different than this. That relates to basically Stormy Daniels and campaign finance funds, and it's really about falsifying business records. And that trial is scheduled to go forth on March 25th. The defense had asked for a lot more time. They said it's really, really going to be difficult for them to move forward, but the judge was adamant. March 25th, this case starts. So that's another trailblazing case.
A lot of other delays in Trump legal land, because on the federal level related to January 6th. That one is not delayed. It'll be interesting to see if the case in Georgia is. We followed it. It was pretty much all we talked about yesterday on this program, the Fulton County DA on the stand. That came as a surprise right before we went on the air. Fanni Willis, she did not testify today. I do want to get your take, though, on some of the news we did have there. We'll see how they rule on whether or not she and Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor, might be thrown off that case, or where it goes from here. But her father, Fanni Willis's dad, John Floyd, did take the stand. Let's listen to part of what he said. Again, it comes down to timing of when this relationship with his daughter and the special prosecutor may or may not have taken place. Here he is earlier today.
Did you ever meet Mr. Wade in the year 2019?
Absolutely not.
How about in the year 2020?
Absolutely not.
Did you ever see Mr. Wade at Miss Willis's Fulton County house in the year 2021?
Never.
And is it your testimony that the only time or the first time that you met Mr. Wade was in 2023?
Let me say something. Mr. Wade said that he remembers seeing me. I do remember there was some kind of banter when my daughter was sworn in to be district attorney between me and a couple of guys, and he said he remembers me. I don't remember him.
So again, Misty, down to this timing of when this relationship took place was essentially the DA bringing your boyfriend in to be, on this case, or was this a relationship that started after he was brought in on the case? What else stood out to you today, if anything? Yeah,
the timeline's really critical. Her father comes on the stand, called by prosecutors, and with respect to the timeline, I don't think his testimony really influenced anything, because on one hand he said he hadn't met him, on the other hand he said he would only know if his daughter told him about a relationship. But one thing that he did help her with is explaining that she's making these payments, splitting vacations in cash.
Right.
That was an odd thing for most people to hear, but her father explained that for them, having cash, his family, not an odd thing, a very normal thing, and something that he has done and something that he imparted in Fanni Willis. So that helps to explain that aspect of the case.
There she is, and she talked about that yesterday. She said, yeah, my dad told me to keep basically 6 months worth of salary in cash in your house. She said she doesn't keep that much, but she keeps a lot of cash, and he backed that up today, or claimed that was true.
Right, because a big part of this is if you're splitting these vacations, that it's all about whether or not she derived a benefit from the money that was paid to Wade in his position as a special prosecutor. So she says, no, we did go on vacations, but we were splitting them. And then the question is, well, what proof do you have? Don't you have a bank slip? Don't you have an ATM receipt? Don't you have a transfer from Venmo? Whatever it is. And the answer was no, it's all cash. So that was something that, doesn't look that credible, but I think her father getting on the stand helped to maybe explain that piece a bit, and certainly that impacting the case, because two aspects here for the judge to decide. Number one, credibility. The judge is determining credibility of every witness, and number two, whether or not there is a conflict of interest under the law.
All right, Misty, as always, thank you covering the case in Georgia, but also the breaking news from New York. We always appreciate it. We'll take a quick break.